Today is the biggest game in Ole Miss football history, and we talk to the mayor all about it. This is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Willis, a 10-year veteran member of the national media with Yahoo Sports and a former Ole Miss staff member. We're going to bring in Tom Vanderford, the mayor of Corinth, to talk about this Ole Miss debut game in the college football playoffs, what it means, being a lifelong fan. Basically, as you're driving up to Oxford for the game, we're going to try and relay some experiences and things like that to hopefully make that trip from Winona to Grenada or whichever direction you're going, go a little bit quicker. Thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen. Give us a like, subscribe, and comment. On your way out, check out a second listen on the network. Nearly every team, including Locked On SEC and Locked On College Football, is available. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. All right, Tommy, I'm excited. Anybody that has been lifelong Ole Miss fans and knows what's going to – we're going to remember the game against Notre Dame in Jackson. We're going to remember the game against Alabama in 1988 where Sean Sykes had the couple of touchdowns. The stand – the incremental growth that Ole Miss went to after basically fumbling the bag in the 70s, this is the culmination of that. This is a big moment. And it doesn't matter that a G5 team is on the other side of the field. This is absolutely massive for Ole Miss as a football program. I mean, think about it. To have the college football playoff logo on your field, only like 5 SEC teams can say that that is a recent possibility, and there's some serious blue bloods that haven't even sniffed the playoffs. So I don't think I can understate how big of a moment this is, Tom.
Oh, you're exactly right. You know, everything this year has been kind of a magical season. The team has played well. They've been resilient through all the noise and all the garbage. And it just goes to show that a team can overcome one person.
What was the moment this season to where you just kind of sat back and did the nostalgia take, thinking about some game? It might have been, John Darnell to Rich Jebbia in 1989 against Tulane. It might have been Kelly Powell to Jamie Holder in 1983 at Tennessee. What is the nostalgia moment that at some point in the season you just kind of went back to? There's like, starting from there to here, it was all worth it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, growing up at the Y in Corinth and playing ball with John Darnell my whole childhood, that always, the Darnell to Jebbia always is one of the first things that comes to mind. But I was really, really excited with the Florida win. I thought, hey, we might be at the end of the tunnel. And then after all the bull that went on that week, our team coming out and handling business in the Egg Bowl, that just, for me, that made me think that this team has ascended to a place that no other team during my lifetime has ascended to. They just, it's amazing how good they are. And I really do have a feeling that they've got a good shot in the playoffs as well because they've been battle tested.
One thing that would be interesting that I'm thinking about, Ole Miss is going to wear the Navy helmets, the Navy jerseys, and the gray pants, the same thing they wore the first time they played Tulane.
Right.
I have a conspiracy theory, and I don't know what you think about this, but I think there's a chance that Ole Miss might be in that uniform for the duration of the playoffs. something like that. I think color games are in the future for Ole Miss because if they beat Tulane, you play Georgia. That's red helmets, red jerseys.
Yeah.
So if you wear the blue, that's going to be absolutely fine. After that, it's likely going to be Ohio State. Silver helmets, red jerseys. The navy blue would be good to go there. And going over to the other side, you're likely going to be in good shape as well because if Indiana comes through, if Oklahoma comes through, if Alabama comes through, the blue just doesn't clash. Ole Miss is like the only blue team in the whole field, it seems like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wonderful too. I love your attitude there. I want us to go all the way and win it all as well. And what I don't think people understand is we've got one of the best teams in the playoffs. We really do. We're just not making it up. I know you and I both get accused of being called homers, and we are. But
that's not an insult either.
No, it's not. That of course I am.
Yeah.
But we have a really, really good shot as long as we keep doing what they've been doing all year and focus on 1-0.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting in this game and this Ole Miss football team, because of the stuff that went on starting in late October and into November, all of that circus, Trinidad Chambliss wasn't put forth and campaigned for the Heisman Trophy. He should have been. If he would have been, he would have probably been in New York for that ceremony because he finished 8th with absolutely no campaigning.
Exactly.
Kewan Lacey, nothing was done for Kewan Lacey, and he was a finalist for the Doak Walker Award, the first time an Ole Miss player has been up for that award. No campaigning whatsoever. It wasn't about him at all. I don't think that the national college football fan, the random fan in Lincoln, Nebraska, the random guy in Albuquerque, New Mexico that is going to cut on this game understands how good Ole Miss actually is.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. I don't think people understand it, outside of the SEC for the most part, just how good we are. And Trinidad Chambliss he's unbelievable. I hope he gets his extra year, and I hope he stays at Ole Miss. And, but he's just unbelievable, and we've got him this year no matter what.
Yeah, and this matchup, it should be fun because it's a sellout. It's sellout, but apparently Oxford's not quite as nuts as it could be. It's going to be as the game gets closer. But the hotels did what the hotels do, and they put a 3-night minimum and about $1,000 per night stay. So people are like, hey, Ole Miss wins this game against Tulane, which they should win. They're 17.5-point favorites. You got the Sugar Bowl up next. We might need to save for that as well. So it's going to be a zoo. It's going to be a hard sellout. The question becomes, does Ole Miss get 70,000 people in the stadium today? The attendance number for this game, I am going to be crazily curious about because Ole Miss got 68,138 against Florida for a stadium record. They need to come up with about 1,900 seats or 1,900 people for this game, which they can do. And if they just do the standing room only, I think it's there. I don't know how many that Ole Miss can take, but I do think that former players coming back. I mean, I think you saw stories of everybody's coming back for this game because this is basically a culmination of all the fall camps that they have gone through. I think there's a way that you kind of do that by doing field pass. It's going to be a spectacle, and Ole Miss is going completely all out on that. Anyway, when we come back, we are going to talk with the mayor of Corinth more about this football game against the Tulane Green Wave, any expectations for the game, who is going to break out, and we're also going to talk about who is the most likely player to have a Ulysses Bentley type breakout after being in the doghouse. Stick around. That's coming up next. The holidays always show up faster than we expect. If you're still putting together gifts or last-minute decor or getting your home ready for guests, Wayfair has you covered. Whether you need a quick room refresh, new bedding, or those final seasonal touches, Wayfair makes it easy to get what you need fast. Wayfair truly is your one-stop shop for everything home, with decor, furniture, kitchen essentials, and gifts for every style, every budget, all delivered quickly and easily. Their selection is huge, and I was able to find everything in one place. It's so easy to shop by style. It helps you pick pieces that actually fit your home instead of just guessing. Wayfair, their items you order will instantly refresh your space without a big project. Get last-minute hosting essentials, gifts for all your loved ones, and decor to celebrate the holidays for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. The NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. What makes live betting better with FanDuel is it's just so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. And live betting is best when the game starts to shift, a receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly, and player props, well, their update as guys heat up. You can bet on the next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, so can you. Hey, do us a favor, like, subscribe, and comment on this video. It's the quickest way to grow this channel up even more, and you will enjoy the community that is built as well. So please give us a comment. We would appreciate that. And also, have you seen the Everydayer Club for Locked On Ole Miss? Basically, you can sign up at lockedonolemist.supercast.com. The link is down in the description. And sign up for ad-free, a members-only exclusive Discord, and other perks as well. That's all here for you, and all you have to do is go down and sign up for $5 a month or $15 a year. There's also an all-access tier where Dalen Flowers and Corey Burton, who's a football coach breaking down film, and Mike Huseman, who is the transfer portal / coaching search expert, is helping out as well. We have a lot of great stuff. Dalen Flowers is doing a fantastic job on basketball. The basketball coverage is living on that right now. So hang tight, subscribe to that. Just in time for Christmas is exactly what you want to do. Anyway, Tom, one thing that's interesting about this game is I've been asking everybody that's on my show, who is the player that might be in the doghouse that you don't know about, that you don't know the story about, that because the ultimate grudge holder is gone, has a chance for a new lease on life, a second chance? Who's that player?
Lucas.
Which is weird because he got injured in fall camp and missed like the first month of the season. I think he played a little bit against Arkansas because he needed to get on the field in that game because for obvious reasons.
Right.
But he hasn't had much of a role. It's been the Daquan Wright, which everybody loves Daquan Wright. He's a fantastic tight end. Is probably the best tight end in this entire conference. But then you have Caleb Odom, who is another freak type player as well. I like the Lucas thing. I definitely am looking that direction. I think that you might see a little bit more of Logan Diggs or maybe Damien Taylor in this game as well.
Yeah. I had, and I hate to say it, but I had completely forgot Damien Taylor, and he's a good back. And so, of course, Logan Diggs is as well.
Yeah, really interesting. It'll be fun to see today exactly if anybody stands up, because even Pete Golding in his press conferences has admitted this, is basically, hey, You've got to find a certain role that a person can help with winning football in the playoffs. Even if they haven't had one, you need to find stuff and be prepared to do that. And Pete's smart enough that, heck, you might see Caleb Cunningham getting some reps playing in the slot position instead of Winston Watkins and Caden Lee from time to time because there's a matchup. It's going to be really interesting to see what type of matchups and how the differences could land. Now, I do think the days of Ole Miss going for a 4th and 3 on their own 25-yard line up by 10 points on the road, those days are over.
Thank God.
And yeah, thank goodness for that. But I do think Pete's going to be fairly aggressive. If they're in plus territory, if it's the 25, 30-yard line, and you're not at a talent superiority, this is one of those games you need to play like a favorite. I always talk about that. But whenever you play Georgia, I do think Pete will be a little bit more aggressive, but not in minus territory.
I agree. I agree with that totally. And I also want to see what Pete looks like from a defensive standpoint without the reins of Lane Kiffin as well. Did he make Pete hold back on some things? We'll find out.
Yeah, because there was a lot, if you remember correctly, in the beginning part of the season, there was a lot of drop 8 from this Ole Miss defense, and they had trouble stopping the run because it was a drop 8 defense. It was the same thing that was tried to run under I forget the defensive coordinator, a couple of defensive coordinators, and Chris Partridge, that's his name.
Yeah.
Where they did a lot of the 3-man front, 8-man coverage, drop 8, all of that stuff. Because if you remember, Lane Kiffin became obsessed with that because that was run against him against Arkansas, and Matt Corral threw 6 interceptions.
Right.
So yeah, that caused that obsession during that. And I think he might be still obsessed with that. And it's going to be up to Ole Miss to try and do what they need to do to exploit this defense, because Ole Miss does have better lines on both lines of scrimmage than Tulane. And Tulane is south of 120 essentially in passing yards allowed per game. This is really not a good matchup for the Green Wave. I do think they're going to play hard. I do think they're going to play well. And I don't think at this point Ole Miss is going to cover the game, but that's kind of where I'm leading right now.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I think Ole Miss is going to come out and do what they've got to do to win this game and put it behind them. And then they're going to give Georgia one hell of a fight in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, that game, I do not think people realize Georgia travels well. Now, don't get me wrong. They travel well. I don't think people realize there's going to be 40,000 Ole Miss people at that game.
Yep, easy.
And they're like, well, they'll find a way. They will second mortgage their home to go to that football game.
That's true.
And because of that, I think Ole Miss is going to try. I don't know if I talked about my conspiracy theory on the air or off the air. I think Ole Miss has a chance to wear what they're wearing against Tulane, against Georgia as well. I think that has a chance to be a color game.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we'll see exactly how that goes. Anyway, when we come back, final thoughts on Ole Miss and Tulane with the mayor of Corinth himself, Tom Vanderford, as you're driving up to Oxford, Mississippi for this historic day. Stick around. We'll talk about it next. Ever feel like your money just disappears each month? It happens fast. A few subscriptions here, an impulse buy there, and suddenly the numbers in your bank account, that doesn't match the numbers in your head. Rocket Money helps you get clarity, track every dollar, and stay in control of your finances, because managing your money should not feel like a second job. Rocket Money does all the heavy lifting for you so you can save more and stress a lot less. Rocket Money finds those subscriptions you forgot you were paying for and helps you clean them up quickly. Seeing all your spending on one dashboard makes it easier to understand where your money is going. I like how Rocket Money will automatically build budgets based on past spending. It keeps you on track without you having to overthink it. Take control of your finance, cancel unwanted subscriptions with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon, rocketmoney.com/lockedon. You know, Tommy, this is just a weird little tick for this game. Is I've probably gotten 4 Twitter DMs asking specifically if you are going to the football game and if you need a ticket. Even people that had extra tickets wanted to hook you up. And I just, part of me was jealous, obviously, because, what's going on. But part of me is like, well, I hope Tom gets to go and takes advantage of this. What's your plans for the day?
Well, unfortunately, nothing translated towards me for that. So, barring any last-second miracle, I'll be watching it on the big screen in the man cave.
Yeah, and this video goes live at midnight, so it's on game day. So it would be a quick turnaround. You would almost have to be in Corinth to actually get a ticket to the game. And I think they got 60,138 at Florida, 68,000. So that's roughly 1,900 from 70,000. You know that the former players and all of that, they're going to try and do that. Do you think they have a shot at 70,000 in this game?
Oh, yeah. You want me to give my attendance prediction?
Well, of course, obviously.
70,038.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how the number's always 38 at the end, right?
Yeah.
It should be interesting. I will say this. I watched David Kellum's video that they put together probably about 500 times from the time it got released. There's been other hype videos that have come out for this game. Apparently, people have reached out to me and told me, it's like, hey, the energy at practice has been completely off the charts. And everybody seems to really be digging the Pete Golding, I don't know, method to preparing for a game and getting it. It doesn't feel as antiseptic as it did. It felt more meaningful. And I respect that Pete has kind of a anti-Lane Kiffin feel about him as far as the way he goes about stuff. Because a lot of this is PR game. I mean, it's all PR game. And you have a transfer portal coming up. You need things to start going that way. And with like Will Eccles and Centarian Perkins and Antonio Kite and Bryson Sanders being announced as people re-signing for 2026 and beyond, it consciously feels like if Ole Miss wins the game today, first of all, it's pretty pressure-filled game on Pete Golding. He needs to win in this game. But if just win the game, 1 point or 20 point, it doesn't matter. If you win the game and get to the Georgia game, it's a successful year, and the momentum gets to stack for about the next 3 weeks.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to us whooping Georgia. Everybody keeps saying for us that, well, it's hard to beat a team twice and blah. Well, that's the same thing for Georgia, brother.
Mm-hmm. With the layoff that is going to be like how Ole Miss starts off this game. Yeah, I interviewed Bill Flowers on Wednesday, and he said if Ole Miss gets Georgia is going to be at a major disadvantage because of the off time that they had from December 4th to January, like a month off.
Yeah,
essentially.
They're going to be rusty.
And Ole Miss, they're back into it. And like last year, the teams that had buys, none of them won games.
That's right.
It was all teams that played. So we'll see exactly how that goes. Anyway, predictions on the game. Let me know, Tommy.
Ole Miss 44. Let me change that. Ole Miss 38 and Tulane 17.
All right. I went with 38-24, honestly.
Cool.
So we're pretty close in the same ballpark. Game's going to be interesting. It's going to be a celebration. It's going to be a party. It's going to be a coronation. Trace Adkins singing the national anthem. They're trying to break the Guinness Book of World Records for Santa hats at an event. I think the record is 33,000. They're handing out 70,000 Santa hats, essentially. There's going to be a drone show. There's going to be a laser show, a helicopter flyover. They are completely going all out. All that needs to happen is the team on the field needs to contribute to how good this party is going to be. And this might just be the biggest party in the history of the state of Mississippi with a win. So it should be pretty fun.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. I can't wait to watch it.
All right, Tommy, thank you so much for stopping by, and hopefully we'll talk to you next Friday getting ready for a Georgia game.
Yes, sir. Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy. All right, thanks again for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your go-to source for Ole Miss sports. We pride ourselves in offering the most comprehensive perspectives, which is why we're the front door of Ole Miss. Don't forget to subscribe, like, or comment. It's all helping the show, and it's completely free. Your support means the world to us. Is Locked On Ole Miss on your Spotify Wrapped? If it is, tweet that link of Spotify Wrapped to any of the national Locked On podcast channels on social media, whether it's Instagram or TikTok, however you want to do it. They will send you a code right there, and you get a month of our Everydayer Club for absolutely nothing. The Everydayer Club, $5 a month, $50 a year, and you get ad-free. You get access to our members-only Discord channel. You get all kinds of other perks, and then the All Access, which is $15 per month. Dalen Flowers, Corey Burton, Mike Huseman, all those people, they're providing extra content. It's not changing here, but it's changing there. So it's pretty interesting as well. Anyway, today is the day that we have been waiting for through all of it. If you're below the age of 65, this is the biggest Ole Miss football day of your life. Enjoy it. Have fun. We will have a pregame show at the Beef O'Brady's from Tampa, Florida, the watch party there. They got drink specials, the whole 9 yards, pregame and postgame. Should be a lot of fun. If you're in Central Florida, come hang out with us as well. So take care. Have a good time. Enjoy this party and enjoy this coronation, and have as much fun as you can have. Hotty toddy, everybody.